2 matches, at the most 3. Two matches at least, maybe 3, will decide your 15th Orlando Regional Champion. We've got a number of victories on the field, a number of finalists, 79, with a number of victories on their field. 744, they've been here multiple times, multiple ways, yet to come home with a victory. Will today be the day? 1772 with a number of regional victories, but none here at the Orlando Regional. Like to say we got 125. The last time they were in Orlando, they came home as the world champions. The last time we had a finalist on the Florida Regional from out of state, they went on to Einstein that year. 44-51. This is their rookie season. I don't think that this team looks like a rookie. They've been one of the most fierce competitors on the field today. And here we go with the pink team. Six Florida and Orlando regional victories, multiple Einstein appearances. Their flag has about a 10-pound weight of tassels that shows all of their awards. So let's go ahead and get these matches going. Our first team on the Red Alliance is Team 1772.
From Gravatei, Brazil, the Brazilian Trailblazers.
And their partner, Team 744.
From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Shark Attack.
And alongside them, we've got Team 79.
From Tarpon Springs, Florida, Team Crunch.
But not to be outdone, we've got the Blue Alliance. And they're getting rowdy, they're getting live. Let's start it out with Team 233.
From Rockledge and Cocoa Beach, Florida, the Pink Team.
And the rookie sensation, Team 4451.
From Fountain in South Carolina, Robots Garage.
And here they come, it's Team 125.
From Boston, Massachusetts, the Neutrons.
All right, in the spirit of gracious professionalism and sportsmanship, we will have our handshake at the center of the field. Congratulate your future champions. Who's it gonna be? Red Alliance, or is it gonna be the Blue Alliance?
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us, make us feel proud. In the streets our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us, every nation.
March Madness, baby. Only time will tell. Let's get it started, guys. Let's get it started. We're gonna make it loud. The bots are on. The gates are locked. And green means go. Drivers behind the line. 3, 2, 1, finals.
Here we go, finals. Match number 1 of the Florida Regional 125, 1, 2, 3. The pink team making some shots as well. Red Alliance doing their best to keep up. But it's the Blue Alliance with an early lead. 233 jumping out to defend 79, Team Crunch. Meanwhile, the Brazilian Trailblazers and Shark Attack loading at those feeder stations. 233 still holding position. Their partners now making their way. There goes 125. Shoot 1, 2, 3, and 4. Red Alliance shooting. Shark Attack. Blue Alliance has taken the lead. Brazilian Trailblazers now shooting. Still a close match. It is anybody's game. There goes those rookies. Robots Garage starting their ascent. They're loaded up with those Blue Alliance discs. They're making their way to level 3. And they will deposit 4 of those Blue Alliance discs. Boy, right underneath them, 125. Bringing the change for the Blue Alliance. Blue Alliance starting to extend their lead, but then here comes Red. And now we have a dump. There goes 44-51. Depositing 4 Blue Alliance discs. Those will be worth 20 points. That sound means there's 30 seconds left in the match. Feeders entering. Those colored discs up and over the feeder station. Red Alliance makes a shot in the 2-point goal. Red Alliance with another shot for 2. Robots heading for their pyramids. 125 is already climbed. 233 trying to do the same. It looks like 233's climbing mechanism has bent though. Team 79 Crunch also unable to complete their climb. Looks like for Red Alliance, Brazilian Trailblazers are up. We're gonna need.
All right, finals.
Man,
What'd you think?
pretty exciting. Not what I expected, actually.
Not at all, no. I did notice 233 instantly came over, wanted to shut Crunch down.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure they didn't get effective. But it seemed that Crunch had an issue, something happened, they jiggled something.
It seemed like they were disabled like halfway through the match, but then they came back to life and they started back into the game.
Exactly. How effective do you think the strategy would be of just forcing 744 and 1772 to score and just trying to make sure Crunch didn't?
I think it's effective because Crunch is their strongest shooter and the most reliable. If they push the game in any other direction, I think it would be a lot harder for them to play the game and deny from the Red Alliance from doing what they want to do.
Okay, 125 stepping up this match. I mean, really getting this score up.
Absolutely, and they actually were able to maneuver very well and effectively. It was almost like as if they got their communication down with Pink and 4451. And notice that 4451, as quickly as they can, went for the color disc and went straight to the climb.
Oh yeah, they don't want to take any extra time on the field if they don't have to. They want to get up onto that pyramid.
And actually position themselves in a more unique position. They're actually more head on than to the sides of the pyramid. I don't know if there's something strategic about that.
Yeah, that was a bit interesting because it does pose an interesting question for 125, whose main point of shooting is right there where they were climbing. So not sure why they did that, but it seemed to work for them. I love how 125 is doing their shooting in this match. It seemed like they didn't like what happened in the last semifinal.
Yeah.
They weren't quite comfortable with how they performed, so they just stepped up. Looks like the score's coming up right now. And the Blue Alliance with the win. Yeah, it seems that 744 and 79, they really need to get their shooting back up to what they was in their semifinal matches.
Absolutely. Now, did you get a close look to see how their autonomous were working? Did they miss any shots?
Yeah, it was weird. They didn't take any shots. It looked like it was only 744. I know. That's why I was confused. Because there was only 744 took their 3 shots. There was only 3 shots in the goal at the end of autonomous, which is very uncharacteristic, and no discs on the floor that I could see.
There was only a 7-point difference at the end of autonomous, which is surprising. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger.
Me too. So we'll see how that is. What should Red Alliance do to try to come back in the next match?
What they're going to have to do is that they have to deal with Pink. Like, that's the bottom line. Pink's going to get in their face and stop them and push them and just be a big bully if that's the case. But it looks like we're going to go ahead and go behind the curtain because see how trophies are set up.
This is it, the finals matches. These trophies standing right here. The gold, no matter what, is going out of state. Either South Carolina, Massachusetts, or Brazil, as well as in Florida. We have Dan here to talk to us a little bit about the strategy of both the teams and what the outcomes of the final match was.
Well, Pink told me that they were selected primarily for their defensive ability, and boy have they performed. They have played defense on Moose in the semifinals and managed to finally break the lock that they had on this competition. And now they are playing defense all up and down the board. They are performing exactly what they wanted to do. I did notice that they bent their climbing arm that last match, so they may have some difficulty if they're not able to get that back into place. But the Blue Lions, they're going to have to, or the Red Alliance, 79-744, and the Brazilian team, they're going to have to just try to score more points to counteract all the hanging that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, with 44-51, the hanging and putting those red frisbees on top is going to be a tough team to beat.
And, well, yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be like the first rookie team since 2006, I believe. Tech Tigers were the last rookie team to win this regional. So it's been a long time since a rookie has actually been here.
Well, as you can hear, there's tons of excitement behind us for this Orlando Regional. So back to the studio for more information.
All right, we're going to take a quick break while the motor's cool. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back. All right, so what do you think is the most important thing for both alliances to focus on coming up in the finals?
Well, I want to focus more on the Red Alliance because they need to deal with 233. They absolutely are a menace on the midfield, and they will go after you. And you think you could tag, for safety on the pyramid? Think again. They're going to be right there and be very aggressive about it.
So should the Red Alliance send 1772 to try to run interference, or should they just try to get around them as best as possible?
I don't know. In this case, I think you have to deal with Pink. I mean, you may want to try to go all offensive, but it might backfire because they'll slowly, systematically shut everyone down eventually. Because once you go to the human player station to load up, guess who's going to be there waiting?
That's true. They do seem very persistent.
Yes. I mean, maybe if they, all go at the same time in the human player zone, and then try to come back, he can only stop and make one, at most two.
True.
But, play your cards that way. To be honest, it's tough.
So should because we know Pink's going to be there no matter what, should the Red Alliance try to mitigate their things by trying to stop 125 at all?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I don't think they're going to be able to do a whole lot about Pink just because it's not easy to play defense, but it's a lot harder to effectively negate a defense.
Right.
You just try to get around it as best as possible.
That's a good idea because if you send one person that's good at harassing 125, that's going to grab the attention from Pink. They're going to pull Pink away to help 125 out, and that leaves two of your alliance partners to be free to go ahead and start shooting, for points.
And even if it doesn't draw Pink off, at least they have time. They have to make up a 50-point deficit instead of a 50 plus all the discs that 125 scores. So I mean, at least they have a better chance of getting some through Pink and getting to the goal. I think that's the way that the Red Alliance can basically get through Pink, is to go after 125 and try to get them to score less.
Absolutely. And I think, like we mentioned, they need to be spot on in their autonomous, which they weren't last match, and they need to make sure that they outperform and teleop. with shooting disc into the goal. They're not going to outperform them on the climb. They better make up the difference on autonomous and teleop, which I think they have a good chance of doing.
Or they need to, at the very least, take the advantage of autonomous and keep up in disc scoring. They can't let disc scoring get out of hand.
Absolutely.
If they can keep up that, perhaps autonomous will kind of negate the effect of the climb and the disc, in the top of the pyramid. But until they actually score more than they did, disc-wise, they're gonna be in trouble.
Absolutely. You know, let's talk more about defensive strategies in this case. Like, what would be a counter to something like Pink? Like, what would be an ideal robot that could stop 233 in their tracks in their game?
Somebody can effectively travel through the pyramids because Pink can't. I mean, they're very good about getting around that particular obstacle, but if you had a small, quick robot that drove through the pyramid and could actually lose Pink through those particular obstacles, it could be really helpful. The other option, because 744 can go under the pyramid, but I don't think they're quite small enough to really do it effectively, is perhaps place picks with their other robots at the pyramid. So for instance, place 79 in a shooting position to kind of get in the way of Pink while touching the pyramid. So at the very least, if they're in frame of shooting, they're getting foul points racked up.
Right.
And so I think that'd be the way I'd try to go about it.
That's not a bad idea. Although, you know, there's all these options and things and you have to weigh. I mean, 230, you could miraculously, after this round, start shooting. And that totally would change
Wouldn't that be a surprise?
Yeah, exactly. And that would totally change their strategy and layout.
They did shoot in autonomous mode.
They shot once, if I saw correctly, and they got it in. Anything can happen, but they didn't shoot or collect throughout the rest of the match. So who knows?
Very weird. All right, looks like the match is getting close to starting. We'll let you know as soon as we're ready. But until then, I know we talked a little bit about the game in general, but what's been your favorite part of the game so far? The game just in general.
I think there's so many different phases about the game. You have your autonomous, you have your teleop, and then you have your end game. I really like this formula with the games lately, and that, you know, there's so much things to focus on. And we keep telling, oh, autonomous is big, which it is, and then you talk about, you know, teleop and eventually an end game, and they all matter. It doesn't matter how you cut it; they all matter. Looks like the match is about to start, so we'll go ahead back to the field.